What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Copy Narrate, and today we have stories from Am I the Arsehole? So let's get into today's first story, shall we? Am I the arsehole for begging my girlfriend to uphold sexist tradition just so she can make a good first impression? And from that title, you can guess where this story's going. I have a big family that's incredibly close. We have big family dinners every few months where we all meet at my great-grandfather's estate and eat together. Typically how this works is that the women go cook all the time they're there and the men don't, which I'm fully aware it's sexist as hell. That being said, I am one of the youngest people in my family and my protests mean literally nothing. Some of those women choose not to cook. However, this is usually met with a level of ostracization. The women who don't cook are lives and long-term girlfriends. I think it means wives. I think it means wives and long-term girlfriends. Also, what? Okay. So they kind of already have a good family relationship doctored in. When I have seen new partners not cook, it's gone bad. Like completely ostracized, not speaking, cattiness, rudeness, etc. This dinner will be in 2 weeks and my girlfriend was asked if she would attend. Initially she said yes, which is great. I want for her to meet everyone and for everyone to get used to her being around. When I explained to her the tradition, she was understandably bothered. I told her that I understand where she was coming from. However, it was best for everyone if she just played along. I told her this isn't a permanent thing and that I am only asking her to do this so that she can avoid bad treatment from the rest of the family. This is her first impression and I don't think it's best if we cause waves. She told me that it's unacceptable and that if she has to do that, she will not be going. I've tried to find a compromise with her on this, but she won't budge and she's pissed at me. She told me that if I think it's acceptable to make her do this, I'm just as bad as everyone else. Well, my point is that she needs to make a good first impression. Alrighty, let's have a look at some commenters' opinions on this, shall we? And then we'll get into my opinion. From Whistering Zeros, he comments, "You're the arsehole. Why won't my girlfriend abandon her sense of self-respect so that she can establish herself as a subservient woman tool so that my sexist family won't mentally and verbally abuse her? She just doesn't get it." Another comment from Speaking Delicious. "She told me that if I think it's acceptable to make her do this, I'm just as bad as everyone else. Well, my point is that she needs to make a good first impression. You're the arsehole. What about your family making a good first impression on her and not expecting her to be an unpaid cook and servant?" And a comment in reply to this, which is from Pleasant Koala. "My thought exactly. Opie is so concerned about the impression his girlfriend will make up with his family, but they just immediately made a bad impression on her. Why on earth would she want anything to do with his family now?" So it's quite clear from the comments that Opie was found to be the arsehole here by the commenters. And unfortunately, Opie, you are going to be the arsehole in this situation because what's even worse is I don't even know how to say this is even worse. But what makes it worse is that it's expected to only be the new women to the family. Apparently, wives and long-term girlfriends don't have to do this. So why is it a thing in the first place? Like, what? Why is it a thing? Wait. I've just realised something. The wives and the long-term girlfriends don't have to do this. So it's only the new women in the family or the unmarried ones? Oh my god. That is horrible. That actually makes it... Just what? Yeah, OP, you are the arsehole. You completely are the arsehole. I can completely understand why your girlfriend wants nothing to do with your family, doesn't want to pretend. Yep, I can understand why she's pissed at you as well. And your excuse that you're the youngest, you're one of the young people, and you can't say anything because nobody will listen. Really? That's the weak defense that you're going on. Is like, well, if I say anything, nobody will care. Really, OP? Really? You can't stand up for your girlfriend and say, you know what, this is wrong. You can't stand up for your mum, your sisters, anyone else in the family that's had to go through this and be like, this is wrong. Anyway, you're the arsehole, and if I'm gonna give a rating out of 10, how much of an arsehole you are, that's gonna be solid 6. You're a solid 6 out of 10, OP, because that's pretty bad. Especially when you factor in that it only targets certain types of people as well. Like, it would be bad enough if it was just the women, but you're specifically targeting new women in the family and women who aren't married. Why? It's so misogynistic. Like, what? Moving on to the next story, which comes from Terrible Turnover 2444. My the arsehole for prioritising my daughter's school performance over her emotional well-being after her mother's death. I'm just gonna tell you now, guys, this is a pretty sad one. I, 39 male, am feeling conflicted about a recent decision I made regarding my teenage daughter's 16 female following the death of her mother. I can't help but wonder if I made a huge mistake, so I'm turning to you, Reddit. Pass judgment on whether or not I'm the arsehole in this situation. Since my wife's passing, life has been tough for the both of us. Dealing with my own grief while trying to provide for her has been a challenge. My daughter has been extremely distraught, and I can see how much she's struggling emotionally. However, when she asked me for time off from school to process her grief, I ended up prioritising her academic performance instead. I'll admit, I've always been a stickler for education, and my daughter is a bright student who excels in her studies, particularly math and science, which are very important, and I wouldn't want to jeopardise that. When she approached me, I couldn't help but think about how it would impact her grades and future prospects. I was concerned that missing school would lead to a drop in her academic performance and potentially hinder her chances of getting into a good college. Instead of allowing her to take some time off, I suggested that she continue attending school and told her that I believe that maintaining a routine and focusing on her education would provide stability and keep her on track. Apparently, my daughter was devastated by my decision. She accused me of not caring about her feelings and prioritising her school performance over her emotional well-being. She believes that I'm being callous and unfeeling, dismissing her need for time to heal. So Reddit, am I the arsehole for putting my daughter's school performance ahead of her emotional well-being, as she put it, after the death of her mother? I'm genuinely questioning if I made the right decision and would appreciate your honest opinions. Thanks for reading. And we're just going to go straight to the comments, because this nails this on the head and gives some context to what we're dealing with here. A commenter says, Info. How much time was she wanting and how recent did her mother pass? Never mind. Got the answer below to how long it's been. 2 weeks. Give your daughter a break and give her some time off. But instead of it being a free-for-all as far as what she's doing, get her some counselling. Let her spend time with people who will help her mourn. Not you, because you don't seem very emotionally present for her. You probably benefit from some counselling too, on how to help your daughter and yourself deal with your wife's passing. And that sums it up better than I ever could. That's for certain. But just to show how much of an arsehole OP is, to give some context to this, I went diving deeper into the comments, and we have a smasher of another one for you. It's actually 3 comments that line up, and you'll see how much of an arsehole OP really is. Wife passed away 2 weeks ago. She asked for 3 weeks. She wants more time off than has already passed since it happened. So she's had 2 weeks off and wants 3 more weeks. That doesn't seem excessive to me. Wait, where are you at where school is still in session? Then OP replies with, she hasn't had 2 weeks off. She hasn't had any time off. And then another commenter replies to that. You didn't give her any days off from school at all following her mother's passing. Seriously. That's the level of arseholery we're dealing with this. So basically this poor girl, and it is the poor girl because I know the man's lost his wife, but I can't give him any sympathy when he's treating his daughter this way. Because a lot of people in the comments were putting, sorry for your loss. And every time they were posting that in the comments, because this story made me quite angry, all I could think about was, you're saying to him, sorry for his loss, But think of the daughter in this situation. Think of her loss. She lost her mother, and she's dealing with this. A dad that doesn't care. Like, she has no support system at all. She's basically on her own. And I couldn't help but think through the story. Sorry for his loss. Sorry for her loss. Sorry for apparently she lost the only person in the world that cares about her. And it just made me incredibly sad. So OP is the arsehole, and he's getting 10 out of 10 for arseholery on this. Because I don't think you could be any more of an arsehole to your daughter than what's being done here. It's also near towards the end of the school year, and a lot of other commenters were pointing out that because it's only a few weeks left of school, like it's pretty much time for school to be over, her grades could be frozen, and then they could give her extension on the final projects so she could have the time off and just, do some light studying at home and then hand them in at the end of the year, like a week or two late. And it would be fine because the grades would be frozen. She'd hand in the final assignments, they'd count towards it, and it'd just be over and done with until next summer. Until the end of summer. Which makes it even more sad because his whole justification of the time off. Poor girl. Anyways, moving on. Alrighty, let's get into the next story, which comes from Asking Hard. Am I the arsehole? On vacation less than an hour before my wife flips out. Today has been the day. Dropped our kids off with my parents earlier today and drove to our rental house a few hours away for a long weekend away without the kids. Drive goes well and arrive and unpack when my wife realises she's forgot her probiotics. So these aren't antibiotics, these aren't drugs or anything. These are those stupid Actimel drinks and stuff, that probiotic stuff that's meant to promote a healthy stomach balance and all that nonsense. That hasn't actually been proven to work. It's meant to be good for you, but whether it works or not is a matter of great debate. Anyway, she starts freaking out. I tell her I'm sure she'll be fine for 2 nights, and she starts yelling at me because I just don't understand how important these probiotics are to her health. I suggest that I can run to the vitamin shop tomorrow morning, and that's not acceptable because they won't have the right brand. She then states that she just wants to go home and our vacation is ruined. I am now beyond exasperated and go to take a shower. I get out and she wants me to drive over an hour away each direction to get the probiotics she's missing. Our house is 1.5 hours away, so I might as well just be driving home and avoid spending money on the probiotics she is expecting me to find. I told her no and told her she would be fine for 48 hours. She called me an arsehole and is now not talking to me. So Reddit, am I the arsehole? We'll look at some comments in a bit, but from me, OP, you're not the arsehole. She packed a bag, she forgot to put her probiotics in there, and then now she's blaming you and saying that it's ruined your vacation for something that was her mistake. And it's very, very unacceptable that she's trying to gaslight you into believing that it's your fault when it isn't your fault. And you offered a reasonable solution, which was in the morning, I'll go to the shop and I will get you some. But apparently they won't have the right brand. I'm pretty sure if it's a vitamin shop, they will have the right brand because it's usually the exact same brands in all these places. It's just a general shop and it's like the same things, I can find them literally anywhere. Anywhere. Like any pharmacy. Like I can go to like Boots. I can go to freaking Tesco, Asda. These are all like British supermarkets and stuff. Like you can go to any of them and it'll be on the shelf somewhere. The only place you're not going to find is like convenience shops. You might find it in some, but smaller ones probably not. But like most places, you're going to find it easily on the shelf. Hundreds of them. But let's hop into the comments to see what some commenters say about this. The one commenter says, why couldn't she drive home for the probiotics and let you relax? She forgot them, then yelled at you. Does she usually take out her frustrations on you? Which is a good point. Does she just verbally abuse OP when he does stuff wrong and try to blame him for things that aren't his problem? Aren't something that he did. And then another comment says, not the arsehole, but it sounds like something else is going on. And another commenter says, not the arsehole, she can drive to get them herself if it's that important. It's not your fault she forgot them. And I agree with all these opinions. It's not OP's fault. You get 0 out of 10 on the butthole arseholery scale. Solid 0 out of 10. Your wife gets a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 buttholes. I don't want to be too harsh on this one. She shouldn't have verbally abused you like that, starting yelling at you and getting mad because she forgot something. That's her responsibility. She needs to be able to, take personal accountability for that. She made the mistake. It's her fault. She shouldn't get mad at you. And you offered a very, very reasonable solution in that you would go to a vitamin shop. You weren't rude about it or demeaning her in any way. You just says, alright then, I'll go to the vitamin shop. And that wasn't good enough. And she wants you to drive all the way home. And, yeah, not the asshole OP. But there is something else going on here with your wife. Because that's just... Her reaction to that was completely disproportionate to the situation. Moving on to the final story of the day. Okay, and this one comes from old_vegetable 9548. Am I the asshole for accessing my dad's phone and deleting a picture of me? As well, put a warning out there, this one's kind of weird. It left me feeling weird. So, yeah. Let's get into it. My family and family friends were abroad at a hotel resort. I, 18 male, don't like shirtless pics of me being taken. This holiday, I was pretty much allowed to do my own thing. That was mainly sleep, eat, and enjoy the pool. To that end, my days only ever overlapped with family and family friends in the evenings. One night, halfway through the holiday during dinner, I told them that I would come with them to the beach. The beach was a 10-minute walk away. I specifically said no photos at the beach, and they agreed to this. At this point also, it's been a fact for years that I don't like my photo being taken, so it's nothing new. Skip to the next day. We are walking to the beach and I remind them, please don't take any photos of me at the beach. All is well with the world. I decide to put on sun cream on, and to do this I take off my top. Then once done, I go for a swim in the sea. I didn't put my top back to swim because I didn't want it to get wet. I'm swimming and my dad takes pictures of me without my consent. I shake my head, put my arms up and tell him to stop, but he continues and smiles while doing so. I then start to confront him. Why did you do that? I specifically asked you not to. Then he goes on the defensive. You're my son. I could take pictures of you if I want to. I later sneak onto his phone and delete the pictures myself, and he gets even more annoyed. Also, for anyone wondering, if he had asked me if he could take a photo, I would have put my shirt back on and let him. I understand that he wanted to take a picture of me to commemorate the time at the beach, and that's cool. But he's done the one thing I asked him not to, and I know these pictures go on Facebook, and that's my exact fear. I don't need a shirtless photo being seen by all of my extended family and friends. There is also the part where I know changing/accessing things on people's phone is not cool, but I know he wasn't going to delete the pictures. TLDR, I asked Dad not to take a picture of me, does it anyway, and then I delete said pic. Now, this one left me feeling weird, guys, because it was the dad who was like, if I want to take shirtless pictures of my son, I can. What? No? That shouldn't be a thing anyway. I don't think you should take shirtless pictures of your children. That's just creepy, frankly. I don't care whether you're a boy or a girl. It shouldn't be done. It's just creepy. It's creepy. Like, how do you say this in a way that makes sense? OP knows these pictures are gonna go public, right? His dad's gonna put them on Facebook. You shouldn't put pictures of your kids on social media. Especially pictures like this. Because OP's an adult, and even when he's not consenting to it, his dad's still doing it. So, it's pretty much the same thing anyway. They're not consenting to this. Whether an adult or a child, they're not consenting to this. They've put up boundaries and clearly stated that they don't want their photos on there. And you're just stomping all over your 18-year-old son's boundaries by doing this. And your justification for it is weird. And OP's very fair in this when they say, like, they would have put the shirt back on. If Dad wanted to take a picture with the family, would have put a shirt on and they could have had a family picture or something. But his dad just took pictures of him shirtless and said that it was his right to take pictures of him shirtless. Like, what? I don't know, it rubs me the wrong way and creeps me out about the dad, that he thinks that he has the right to do this. But let's move into the comments and see what some commenters saying. Not the arsehole. I have a daughter in elementary school. I always ask her if I can take a picture before I do it. I also ask her if she is okay with me sharing it on my Instagram. My profile is private. It's just my family and close friends. I want her to make the choice how widely her images are shared on social media when she is old enough to make that choice. I am not going to make it for her. Exactly, well-balanced, reasoned opinion there. Don't make choices for your kids. Let them make their own choices, right? I don't think what families understand, or parents, I guess, what they don't understand is those pictures are up there forever. Once they're up, they're up. They're not going to go away because they get stored on multiple different archiving websites. Once they're up, they're up. It's incredibly difficult to get things like that completely removed and can be expensive to do. So when OP says they don't want photos of them floating around the internet, of them shirtless, I can understand why. It could hurt their job prospects, you know, right? Someone sees those pictures and is like, oh, well, that's a bit weird. Why have you got all these pictures of this on the internet? And the next commenter says, not the arsehole. Your dad is doing that things that parents do sometimes, where they think they own their kids. It's a thing my parents did, and my hubby's parents did, and sometimes they still do. I try not to do it with my kids, but it is a bad thing lots of parents do. And the final commenter says, not the arsehole, that's a violation of your privacy, and you did what you had to do. I grew up with a parent like that, and it's caused a lot of damage. I'm sorry he treats you that way. Another commenter says, not the arsehole, your family should respect your body and all your requests. Another one says, not the arsehole, I hope you also deleted them from the phone's trash. Guess you have to keep your shirt on at the beach. And overall, the story was just extremely irritating for OP. I'm sorry that they have to deal with a parent like that who just stomps over the boundaries. And the parent's justification is just weird. I'm your father, so I can take shirtless pictures of you and post them on the internet if I want. No. Just don't be that dad. Don't be that parent. Don't put topless pics of your kids on the internet, for God's sake. It's weird. And it hurts their futures. Because that's out there forever. And they have to deal with it. And they shouldn't have to. Anyway, I'm going to give OP in this 0 out of 10. Yes, he did mess with his dad's phone. But I feel like that was justified in this situation. Because it's better him messing with his dad's phone and deleting the pictures than it is to not delete them and his dad post them on the internet. That would do more harm in this situation than him deleting the pictures. It hasn't harmed the dad. He's just deleted some pictures. His dad's fine. Sure, going into his phone is an invasion of his privacy, but at the same time, what choice did OP have in that situation? The dad is gonna get 5 out of 10 on the butthole score there, because that is just a messed up, weird, I don't want to know logic or justification, and frankly kind of creepy. But yeah, OP, I'd seriously consider setting up some severe boundaries with your dad and maybe going low contact with him, because that behaviour is just unacceptable. I don't want to say no contact, because it sounds like it's not something that's happening all the time, but at the same time, I feel like there needs to be more space until you can be around him more and trust him to treat you with respect and not stomp all over your boundaries. And I'm sorry you had to deal with that, OP. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe as always. Peace out.